living. I'm your host, Tina Thrussell, life dancer, co-founder of Best You Can Be, and messenger of the Shin, the way. I am thrilled to have on the show with me today, Rev Sheryl Hinds. I first met Rev Sheryl Hinds at a sound wellness workshop hosted by my guest from last week, Sharon Card. We were doing the sound wellness program together, and I was immediately taken with Rev Sheryl's quick ability to laugh and see the fun and playfulness in situations that maybe didn't seem so playful to others. And that lightheartedness endeared me to her to me. And we connected really well on a heart level, being kind of two peas in a pod. And I was on her show, Rev It Up with Rev Sheryl, earlier in the spring. And I just had to return the favor and bring her on this show so that you, our viewers, could get to experience her fun nature too. Welcome to the show, Rev Sheryl.
Hi! Yay! It's always a pleasure to be able to talk with you at any level, Tina. I can tell you that, any level.
Thank you. And I feel the same way. There's something about like spirits connecting. We have this heart connection that allows us to connect at a soul level really quickly.
I think that's kindred. Kindred spirits know each other. We know our hearts. Like attracts like. So we would just know that we're kindred. We're kindred souls. Yeah.
And I think most people have experienced that at some point in their life, where they met someone for the first time, but within seconds, feels like they've known each other for a long time. It feels like there's this connection. They just like each other. And I think that all happens on an energetic level.
Oh, I agree. Because we are energy. We're all energy. Every single one of us is energy, and we're either exuding this loving energy. I mean, have you ever met somebody and you've gone, whoa, yeah, wow, I don't think I want to get to know them, like that doesn't happen very often, because when I meet somebody like that, it's that they're dark, you can tell they're dark and you can feel it. And so, yeah, in the same way you can feel when somebody's light and love and fun and playful and nurturing. You really get that from a lot of people. Like Sharon is all nurturing. She's mom to the planet.
Yeah, we love her.
Oh, yeah.
So, this is our second take on the show. It's been an interesting morning. And I appreciate your playfulness and willingness to just go with the flow of what was going wrong and happening. And I think that that's the way you approach life, isn't it?
Yeah, very much. There are times that some things happen where, makes me say 4-letter words and invent 4-letter words, and but for the most part, I do tend to see it as learning. I do. Everything is learning. Every single moment of your life is learning. And I value learning about everything else. It is so important to me. And which is one of the things I had to do, was to clear out my books. I had to go through all my books and my course material and all the courses that I've ever been through, everything, when I was living in my new place. And I finally got rid of 6 big boxes of books that I've been carrying around for decades.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
And how do you feel having gotten rid of them?
Do you know, I feel much lighter. I honestly do. I feel that the books that I've got now are the books that best represent where I'm at right now. There's some books that I just couldn't, some of the older books I could not let go of. And one of them was Looking at Life from the Inside Out. And that really, the book is called From the Inside Out, I think. It's not in print anymore. You can't get it. But it was foundational. It was foundational for me, that book. That was the one that really got me going on this path. Or maybe I was already on this path, and that book came in to show me how to do it.
And what is this path?
Well, the path would have been teaching as well as learning. So it was letting me know that I had already been teaching, but not in a formal way, not in any formal way. It was just sitting with friends and family, and I always seemed to be able to feel what they were feeling and be able to channel in what it was they needed in the moment. And so I thought I would do this because I was a plus size gal. I was always trying to figure out how to lose weight. And so for me, this was putting together a course called Overweight and Okay, and bringing in self-esteem into the whole issue that this is what you are, this is what you look like, this is how you are, and so why feel bad about it?
Self-acceptance.
Yes. So why feel bad about it? So it was an 8-week course at the time, and I remember the book. I remember from the inside out. I remember the very first time what it felt like as I was sitting and meditating and opening my eyes, and all of a sudden there was a shift, and I could literally feel everything happen from the inside out. It's really amazing when that shift. That was the most important shift, Tina. It was like I could really feel who I was, and that from here everything happened. Not everything happening out there separate from me and then impacting me. It wasn't like that anymore. It didn't feel like that anymore. It was really all here. It was just amazing. It was an amazing shift and amazing transformation. And so after doing that course, it became Inner Outer You. And then it's just been onward from there.
Cool.
Yeah.
I didn't know that you'd written that course. Sounds really good. And a great launching spot for people to get into living from their heart.
Yeah.
That's certainly living from the inside out.
Yes, it certainly was. And it was interesting because every day I would do a meditation, and I'd always say, go in with and ask, okay, what do I need to know today? Every day, what do I need to know today? What do I need to know? What do I need to know? And I realized that I'd always been a learner. I've always wanted to know what happens. Like, what do you do when this happens? Like, if you do this, what happens? And which is why I was such a prankster, because I was really interested in how people would react to a prank or would react to something like that. Like I was saying earlier, my family's really happy that I don't pull pranks anymore. So I have learned to calm down on that end. But it was always about the learning. It was always about wanting to get, oh, what about this? And what about that? And what about this? And school was just not for me. I hated school. Not hated it, but I was one of those kids who should have been homeschooled. Yeah, because I wanted to learn all the things that school didn't teach me.
The real life stuff.
The real life stuff is spiritual. Yeah, because I was an empath and still am, and psychic, and all these things were happening to me, and it wasn't, there was nothing in school that could teach me anything about the things I wanted to know about.
Things like how to cope with picking up on other people's energies and identifying, is this mine or is this somebody else's?
Yeah, that was really hard, and in school was very hard. I was diagnosed with ADHD when I was 4 years old, and what I remember about that is just a lot. Everything impacted me. It was just like everything was coming at me, and I couldn't concentrate, and I couldn't focus. So school being very noisy, and there was always noise around. It was very hard for me to focus and concentrate. Plus, I was the oldest in a family of 5 kids, so it was always noisy at home. So it was very hard for me to focus. It truly was. And I got by in school. I, as far as homework goes or anything like that, I never did it. So if I squeaked by with a C plus or a B, I was doing pretty good. You know, and but it was really a difficult place for me to grow up with, was the school systems, but I treasured learning. I was always very curious about the supernatural and ETs and extraterrestrials, and that's what I wanted to learn about. One of my favorite things was about learning about stars. You know, always dreaming about flying saucers and ETs and things like that. So there was I just wanted to learn about everything. And I just found that school just kept me funneled into one area, and it was static, and it took too long. It took too long to learn something.
And how interesting that they diagnosed you as ADHD when really you were empathic, and that lack of ability to focus and concentration was just because of that overload of other people's energies.
Yeah.
And I wonder how many other children are in that same position.
Well, my granddaughter had to be taken out of the regular school system because of that. And my kids would have probably benefited from homeschooling as well, but it just wasn't talked about. You didn't talk about being an empath. You didn't even say the word psychic and religion in the same sentence. You know, you just wouldn't do that. And not when I was growing up anyways. And now it's commonplace. Now people are talking about a psychic, but I mean, there's still resistance out there, and that's okay. That is fine. Resistance can be a very good thing. It really can be, because it really challenges you to look beyond that, so that you can see what it is you really believe and feel. Okay, this is home for me. And I had to take my granddaughter out of school because she was like, I mean, she was seeing. When she was 3 years old, I got a phone call from my daughter. Mom, I don't know what's going on with Summer, but we've got to, there's somebody in her room all the time, every night. So that's what we had to do, is we had to help. I helped her help somebody cross over at 3 years old.
Wow.
And so how does a 3-year-old know to say the word, he's gone home, Grandma? He's gone home. How would a 3-year-old know those things? But I helped her ask the correct questions. This is what was happening. She kept letting me know what was going on. She saw fairies all the time. So these are people, you don't have to believe in it. It doesn't matter. It's their experience, and that's what's true to them. So if there's moms and dads out there that have empathic kids and they're talking about fairies and ETs and monsters in the closet, things like that, that's their experience. They're not just making it. I mean, if it wasn't for imagination, we wouldn't be here. That's how important our imagination is. You know?
Imagination is the initiator of creation.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And learning and being creative and knowledge and oh my goodness, Tina, there's just so much to learn. I don't know, I'm gonna have to live a really long time to even get to a piece of all the things that I want to do and you know, I've been up and down, I've gone through depressions, I've gone through grand depressions where I couldn't even get out of bed in the morning. There was, you know, it was just so overwhelming. And we feel our own feelings too, and we have our own experiences as well. So but then to be experiencing everybody else's issues, there's always that like attracts like thing. If you're feeling down, you're going to feel it. You're going to be attracting all this negativity, and it's going to be even more overwhelming because you're an empath, and that takes time to learn how to manage that. So when you're better off being in that happiness, you're better off being in that, showing up and asking yourself, what's important for me to know today? What is that? And it's all focusing on the good things. And then you'll start attracting all that good things. So if I'm going to be overwhelmed, I would far rather be overwhelmed with happiness on a daily basis than sadness. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely. So there is this law of attraction that says the energy that you focus on is the energy you attract.
Yes.
So you're saying you could focus on all this overwhelming and negativity, but then you're just going to attract more of that.
Exactly.
So why not focus on the positive, on the feel good feelings, and attract more of that?
Yes. So that has been my journey, is understanding the nature of an empath through my own experience and what that was. Like, how is it? What is that? And then understanding it through my own experience and through my own eyes and my own heart, and knowing that it just feels better to love. It just feels better to be in that space. And whether some people feel that you have to earn it, some people feel, well, I can't be loving because this is going on in my life, and that's going, well, it's a choice. You can feel that no matter what you're going through, no matter what's happening in your life, no matter who you hate because they've done you wrong. It just feels better to find a way to put that to rest, to put the anger and the hatred and whatever else negative is going, because that'll just eat you up. So it's better to show up as with a loving heart, and it all starts with the self, again, from that inside out, starting here. It all starts here. Yeah.
And so how do you do that? Does being grateful help in that process of being able to focus on the positive and focus on the feel good feelings?
Well, one of the things I do every morning is I write out this sentence that says, "Thank you, universe, for all the good things in my life today and all the good things in my life I don't yet know about." So that is opening me up for even more good things, isn't it? And I'm not controlling it. I'm not even controlling it. I'm asking for just good things to happen in my life. And anybody can do that. Anybody can do that. It doesn't happen overnight. It's something that it takes effort, and it takes effort to feel bad. So why not put effort into feeling good? Right?
Yeah, you're right. Both of them take energy.
Yeah, yeah. You know, think about what you're thinking every day or having to feel every day. If you are feeling sad and you are feeling depressed and you are in pain. And one of the greatest lessons was when my daughter had to give up doing pottery because of the arthritis she was feeling in her hands due to fibromyalgia. And her husband, Trent, my dear son-in-law, said to her, "Why don't you go back to pottery? You were happier when you were doing pottery." And she said, "Yeah, but my hands hurt." And he goes, "Yeah, but they hurt anyways, don't they? Your hands hurt anyways. So you might as well do something you love and have your hands hurt as to just sit and do nothing and be depressed and have your hands hurt."
What a wise young man.
Oh, he is wise. He is wise. And my daughter was being in that much pain. It was very, you can get to that part. And I've been there. I've been there more often, than I'd like to admit when I was younger. But, but I've been there. And I know what that feels like to want to give up and to want to go home. I know what that feels like. So Trent was so good with her with that, and he's just this wonderful. He's like a wise sage in so many ways. And my daughter, so she started going, "Yeah, you're right." She said, "You're right." So she knows the truth. She knew the truth, and it spoke to her heart, and it got her going back into doing things that she loves.
And that's so important, isn't it?
Yeah,
I mean, that's
the
key to living passionately is doing what you love.
Well, people think living passionately, you have to do something big. Go big or go home, right? Oh, well, okay, yeah. When you're passionate, everything's big. But it's just the little things. What I have discovered about passion, what that is being present in your life, showing up for your life, showing up and appreciating and being grateful for every single thing you have. Finding the love in something, finding the humor in something that that other people might not. Like grandmothers can look at their kids and look at their grandkids and find humor in what they're doing, and grandmas are like, "We're trying not to laugh," and the mothers and fathers are saying, "Don't you laugh, Grandma," like we have to, but you can't help it because it's just so darn funny. And so it's being able to find some of those kinds of things that that you could see humor in, because it really does bring light to you. Seeing everything. I used to teach a course in that as well, that humor in the workplace and humor in parenting. So I had those two courses, and again, that was so long ago. And I threw those out too. I threw those courses that I had written. I threw those out too because I don't need them. I don't need them in writing. If I need another course, I'll write it. Right?
Yeah, because when you write them now, you'll write them with that much more experience, that much more wisdom. They'll have greater depth.
Yeah.
If you were to rewrite them now.
Yeah.
Than what you wrote back then.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Right? Because now you've learned to really incorporate that sense of playfulness and lightness into your life.
Yeah.
Such a theory that it's who you are.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, I could be downright silly. And there's a lot of people who, as a reverend, right, they look at you and through different eyes and they go, "Well, as a reverend, maybe you, but look at Nadine Rogers with her clown nose and the irreverent."
Yeah, I read a book. Oh dear, what was it called? The title might come to me later. But the whole concept behind the book was that playfulness brings us that much closer to spirit or God or whatever name that you give.
Yeah.
But this whole sense of being intense and serious actually creates a separation from our true, playful, childlike nature, which essence of all that is.
Well, and that's I would agree with that 100%. I could have written that book.
Yeah,
you know, I could have written that book, and I just know that being able to laugh through something is it brings, like, for example, you take a funeral, okay? Take a funeral. You've got this one over here where everybody is weeping and crying, and you know, and even all the music is like really sad and sad and sad and sad, and you go through this funeral, it's just sad, 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 sad. All right, and I've been at a funeral where there has been great joy. My mom's funeral was filled with laughter, and that's the way she died laughing. She was in the middle of a laugh, a hearty laugh when she went.
Wow.
Yes, the angels were clapping. They were applauding her. I could hear everybody on that side. Way to go, Lori! You know, like, but I, you know, when I think about that, it, like, when I go, there had better be a lot of laughter. And because I just want everybody to kiss my ash goodbye, right? They could,
You did say ash, people.
I did say ash. Yes, I did. And you know, it's because I want that. I would want a tribute in the sense of that I lived my life with passion, laughter. I didn't always know where I was going or what I was doing, but that didn't matter. And when we talk about purpose, our purpose here is to is all discovery. It's all discovery. It's all learning, isn't it? And so there's several ways we can do it. We can do it with pain and being uncomfortable, being stretched and pulled and pushed and prodded, which we all do. Or we can also learn it through love. We can learn more through love, I believe. And so if you're already present, you can learn it.
Yeah. And there's another big key, right? So
Yeah.
this playfulness keeps you in a place of love from the heart and presence. Being here now in this moment.
It does for me.
Also.
That's right, and it keeps the hounds off the door. If you know what I mean, because again, we go into that like attracts like. We go into that like energy attracts like energy, and I would far rather have a lot of like-minded people around me that feel like that than not, like yourself and Sharon and my BFF Vera, and you know, and the list is on. Carolee, but even my family is fun loving. So, and my daughter's a riot. I have two daughters. I have an adopted daughter too, and she's going through um, some problems right now, like health wise. But even she manages to see the lighter side of it. So this is very good. Very good news.
It makes it easier for everyone, right?
Well, it does. It does. And I, you know, like if I ever get sick, and what happens is when there's caregiving that starts to become involved, you know, and to me, it's about quality and not quantity. It's about quality of your life. And so if you don't have quality in your life, then, you know, again, the kindest, most self-loving thing you can do is ask yourself, what can I do to change this? What can I do to have more happiness? And just start focusing on happiness. That's all. Just start writing down, thank you, universe, for being happy today. Thank you I'm grateful for all the happiness that is in my life today. Just that.
What we focus on makes such a difference.
Yeah, and we can. It's a choice.
Yeah, choice.
Yeah.
minutes already. Oh my gosh. So it's time for us to bring this show to a close. If you would like to get a hold of Reverend Sheryl, I'm trying to just text this on the screen. Rev It Up with Rev Sheryl is a Facebook page where you can, there it is, Rev It Up with Rev Sheryl.
Yeah. Yes.
On Facebook. If you would like to have more conversations about purpose and passion, or have a reading, Reverend Sheryl is an incredibly talented reader who can connect with those on the other side, the higher spirits, the guides, to offer you guidance for your life. And you can connect with her and express interest in a one-on-one session by contacting her through that Facebook page, or through a private message, of course, Sheryl. And that would be Sheryl M. Hinds. One L on Sheryl. And there we go.
Right.
So thank you so much for being with us today, Rev Sheryl.
Oh, thank you for having me, Tina. Always a
You're
pleasure.
one of my beloved people in my life, and it was a delight to share the show with you today.
Yeah, I've really enjoyed it.
Excellent. Thank you, our viewers, for tuning in. And if you would like to connect with me, you can reach me through the Shin, the Way of the Heart page, or of course through my own page, Tina Thrussell. Thank you. Enjoy living from your heart. And until next week, with our guest, Sandy Daisy, create a beautifully loving week. Bye for now.
Bye.